Hello, hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, part 1. It is Sunday, December 22nd, 2024, and I'm so happy you are joining us this week. Merry Christmas! We are all done with our Christmas stamping, and we are moving on to the January through April 2025 mini catalog that's coming out in just a couple weeks. Mom and I are so excited to share a little sneak peek with you this week, so let's turn the camera around to my desktop and get started. I'm so happy to have Mom joining me on audio for this week's video. And we're sad we can't be in person this week for the holiday, but we were together for Thanksgiving, and sometimes it just doesn't work out that we can spend every single holiday together.
Unfortunately, that is true. Plus, we've been busy taking care of our post-surgical patients.
Yes.
We've both been running a post-op ward, I swear.
That is very true. I don't think Thomas would like to travel, and I know Yvonne is not up for traveling either. So,
Not yet.
but we're excited to be connecting a little virtually this week with our family, including some stamping. We're going to do a stamp along. We'll film later this week and have it for you next Sunday. So I told Mom not to let me forget to show you those card measurements. We love doing those stamp along videos, and we hope that you'll join us next Sunday on December 29th for that stamp along. But first, we've got a sneak peek for you today. I'm super excited to be turning to the January through April mini catalog. They started pre-order a little bit early, and I'm so glad because I feel like there's been a little time to breathe and work on things like swaps and getting things ready. So I've been having a lot of fun playing with the pre-order things, and this week Mom and I chose to share with you this suite. The name just skipped right out of my head. It's called Floral Delight. I'm going to stick this over here, my little cheat sheet. The Floral Delight Suite is so springy and so beautiful. We have two different papers. We have a specialty vellum, and then we have this gorgeous designer paper with just warm colors. Like, I just feel so sunny looking at this, and I'm ready for spring already. I know it's like just now winter, right? When was the first day of winter? Yesterday? The day before? I'm over it.
The year was yesterday.
I am over winter already, and we're only a day in. It's my least favorite season. I just like it to be sunshiny and warmer. And so the colors in this designer paper are welcome. Are welcome in my house this winter. We've got crushed curry and daffodil delight, lemon lolly, old olive, a little bit of pool party in there too, and just a touch of some pumpkin pie for the details on some of these flowers. And gosh, Mom, I saw a post about like what kind of flowers were in this suite, and now I can't remember all of them. Do you remember?
I do not.
We've even talked about this on my channel a few times, this flower, and its name is escaping me. I know we've got some flower experts, so you just leave a comment in the chat and let us know
Please.
what flowers these are. I love both sides of this paper. I just think it's really fun the way they've incorporated some of the colors. These I recognize as like marigolds or maybe zinnias, or are these marigolds? I'm going to stop guessing.
I wouldn't even try. I really wouldn't. This paper has some of my favorite color combinations, which is white, yellow, and blue.
I was just thinking that as I flipped these pages. These are very you colors. And the vellum incorporates those colors too. So this is the this is the floral and gingham vellum. And both of these are 12 by 12. I just cut them down to make them easier to show. And so we've got this with the beautiful white flowers on the pool party background. Then a pool party gingham, which is kind of like a traditional vellum, like see-through. This has, the flowers really are more opaque here, so you don't really see through the same way that you do with the vellum. And then this one is really interesting. It has the opaque flowers on a traditional kind of vellum background, but all of these flowers will die cut with the coordinating dies in the Delightful Wishes bundle. So
You didn't have to fussy cut it?
No, you didn't. Did you fussy cut them?
Just one.
Oh.
I didn't even look to see.
Yes. So both dies will die cut. So we've got this one for the smaller one, and then this one, both the flower and the leaf here will die cut those images. So these are the same sizes as the stamp images in the Delightful Wishes. This is a photopolymer bundle, and it's got a lot of really great dynamic dies. So these are the same size as the designer paper. The stamp images will die cut with those same dies I just showed you. And then we also have some detailed dies, so you can layer those onto the flowers. We have a die for the wishing, but also a detailed die that you can layer onto the outline die. A nice little tag, a branch, some detailed leaves. I cased the catalog. You know how I love to do that. I cased the catalog and created this card using some of the vellum, some of the detailed die cuts, some of the stamped images. I die cut the wishing, incorporated some designer paper, the ribbon, and oh my gosh, I forgot about the Tiny Bee Trinkets. These are just the cutest. They are so small and so adorable. When I first saw them in the catalog, I thought, didn't we have bee trinkets like this?
We did, but they were bigger.
Yes, a lot bigger. These are like, they are. I was joking you could embellish your nails. And so just for like a size comparison, they are small. And I don't think they're too bulky to go through the mail. Like, you'll still want to put like a cushion over them, but the other ones I feel like were just a little too much to go through the mail. Okay. And then we've got this really gorgeous ribbon. This is the Daffodil Delight 1/8 inch ribbon, very satiny, lovely, and it just goes perfectly with the designer paper. I wanted to show you one other card that I created with this suite. I used this die, and I don't know where my little window sheet went. I cut it out of window sheet and I used it as a template or a mask for some shimmery embossing paste in the corners. And then just did some simple stamping there. I really like the way that turned out. I know, I'm loving these colors. Like you said, the pool party and the yellow are just so classic, especially with that gingham, just so classic for spring. So let's get to my card. I was inspired. I feel like I start every video with, I was inspired by, because I'm always inspired by all of you. And so here's a card that I received for the Great Big Card Swap from Ellen Haberling. And it's got a little Z fold that tucks under a mini card. And I want to say I originally saw this from Patty Bennett. I can't remember for sure. And Ellen didn't say who she was inspired by, but I'm inspired by Ellen, who is probably inspired by somebody else to create this little Z fold with the mini card. And so this is what I am going to create today with the Floral Delight Suite. I have to look at the name again. I've got all my pieces ready to go here. I'm using the old olive for the card base, and this is just like a simple Z fold. So we have 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're scoring the card. Where's my score line? There we go. We're scoring the card in half, and then the front in half and folding it back. So that's our regular Z fold kind of measurement. Pretty simple for Z fold cards. And then we have 4 different panels that are going to go on all of these places, and they're all the same measurement. They're all 1 7/8 inch by 5 1/4. So I've got a couple different patterns. I've got the yellow pattern to go over here. I've got the flowers with the blue background to go there, and then I did choose a white panel if you want to have some additional space to write a message. The card for the front, I think mine's a little bit bigger than Ellen's. This is 2.5 by 5 inches, scored at 2.5. And then for the front and the inside, I have 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, basic white. And for the greeting, I originally had cut a lemon lolly piece, and then as I was prepping, I thought maybe we'll try pool party. So I'm going to have you help me decide on that one, Mom. So that's a 1/2 inch by 3 inches for that little piece. I'll have all the measurements for you in the video description when we're all done. So let's get started with some stamping. My original intention was to use the bigger flower sort of cluster. And Mom showed me her card just a little bit ago, and she's using that one. And so I always try to kind of mix it up. So I decided to switch gears and use the other flower, which is also a 2-step stamp. Now, the artwork on this is 90%, so it is just a little bit bigger than it looks like on the cover. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and sometimes it's hard to tell in the catalog as well how big things are. So just to give you kind of an idea, it is smaller than I thought it would be, but I think it's a perfect size for what we're going to do. I'm choosing colors from the designer paper, so I've got Lemon Lolly, Crushed Curry, Old Olive, and Pecan Pie. And I'm also going to stamp on this white one, so we'll get all 3 of those out. Okay, I'm going to start with the Lemon Lolly layer. That's going to be the lighter one. And I am stamping, we talk about doing things in 3s. I'm doing 3 flowers on the front piece. For the inside, I'm just going to do 1 flower. And then I think I'm also just going to do 1 on the inside for the other piece. Going to add Crushed Curry for the detailed layer. This one was a little tricky, I found, to line up and figure out. And I don't think it matters if it's exactly perfect. I'm giving you permission to just stamp it however it works. I do think that it's very forgiving with its design if you don't get it lined up just right. Earlier, I thought I had it figured out, and then I forgot what my markers were. See, it looks okay. And then I wanted to add just a pop of Pecan Pie to go in the center of the flower to kind of match the designer paper. The stamp in here is a cluster of 3, but that's a little big for our smaller flowers. So I'm just going to strategically ink on the corner of my stamp pad, just the larger of the 3. Oh, I got to be careful. I've got some ink.
Very nice, Julie.
I'm getting a little over stamped, but I'm going with it.
Looks good.
While I've got the Pecan Pie, I'm going to stamp. Here's another one where I'm going to strategically omit. It's meant to go with wishing, and it says, "You a happy birthday." But I don't have room for the wishing on my card, and so I'm just going to strategically ink the happy birthday and leave off the "you a." You can use a piece of tape to do that, or since it's all on one end, I'm just going to strategically ink the stamp to leave off the "you-a."
I never have luck doing that.
Sometimes I find that tape just gives me a little more confidence, and so you just tape that off, ink it, and then take the tape off before you stamp it. Otherwise, you just have a big mess. Okay, so we've got our 2 options. I'm only going to choose one of them, but I stamped both of them so we can decide. And also on the inside piece, and I don't know, maybe I will stamp it here. Let's see. Lots of love. On my sample, I stamped it here. It doesn't really matter. You could put it either place. All right, the last thing we need to do is add some leaves. And so I'm bringing in Old Olive. Now, I do find this leaf to be a little bulky. Like, it's almost as big as the flower. The other one is designed to fit inside, and I'm sure you're going to show that, Mom. It's designed to fit like with the branch and the other ones, and so I don't know. I'm using the big one because that seems like the only option for this flower.
It looks okay.
So I'm gonna.
I found the same thing as I was working with it.
That it was too big.
It is big.
Yeah. So I've got 2 flowers in 1 leaf here, 1 flower and 2 leaves there. Just trying to balance that out. And then our sentiment is going to go across and kind of bridge that. So we'll decide when we put it together if we want the blue. I think the blue will make more sense with the designer paper. All right, we're done with the stamping. Let's toss our stamp pad and start gluing things down. I've got all the adhesive today. I feel like I'm using it all on this card. I'm going to start with the panels and using some regular Stampin' Seal adhesive for that. Okay, so we're 3 days before Christmas. Are you ready, Mom, for the holiday?
No, I haven't wrapped any presents yet, and I have to run to the grocery store and pick up a few more things, and then, yeah, bake. I'm doing Dad's wreath thing and the birthday cake for Jesus, and I think Nina and her kids are making shortbread cookies, and Elliot wants M&M cookies, so they're doing something with M&Ms. Yeah.
We have some baking to do at our house, too. I definitely feel behind on everything. But you know what? It's all going to get done, and if it doesn't, then we're still going to. That's my attitude. Like, it's all going to work out okay.
It will, and I'm, if there's a mess down here from wrapping paper after Christmas, well, then I'll clean it up.
All right, I'm adding our squares to the smaller card now.
Oh, cute.
I know, I really love it. So when we attach the card to the card base, we want to be able to flip this out. So we're only going to use adhesive on one half. And on my sample, I used tear and tape, but I'm thinking that a Stampin' Dimensional would hold really nicely and kind of match the depth of the, it would match the depth of the fold. So I am going to do 3 Stampin' Dimensionals on one half. Should I go high or low with this little card?
Yeah, I think that's a good placement.
Okay.
I wouldn't like it too low.
All right, now for our sentiment. Here's my original thought was the lemon lolly, but I do kind of like the idea of bringing in the pool party.
Ding, 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 ding.
You like the pool party?
I do.
All right, let's
party, because there's pool party in the background of the
yes, and there's not any other pool party in the rest of the stamping. Although one thing I did add, like in the background on this one, is I stamped the thing that I used for the middle. I kind of stamped that in the background in blue just to add a little more blue. So I could do that, but I want to add a little bee and a bow as well is what I was thinking. So I want to do a little, did I put adhesive on that yet? Yes, I did. I want to add a little bee up here and a little yellow bow. I just love this ribbon. It's like so dainty and so
I can't wait to order more.
Where did I do with my scissors? Jimmy, can you see if my big scissors are on the kitchen table? My very special ribbon scissors. Let's add, I'm using a little dot of liquid glue to put the bee on. And, oh, I see them. I had them right here the whole time. They were just tucked in an unusual place. That means I need to clean my desk off. And I'll use the glue dots to add the bow. I've made a good mess here. Okay, so here's the finished card. The little card holds that Z fold down, and when it's all open, here's my first version. I used different designer paper, and I did the Lots of Love here. And I, for whatever reason, didn't stamp on the inside. I think it was an afterthought when I realized that there needed to be something on the inside of the mini card. But I do think I like the blue and that designer paper a little better. Which one do you prefer, Mom? This or that?
I like the one with the blue.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think this is going to be a favorite from the upcoming January through April mini catalog. I can't wait for everyone to be able to order. Now, we're showing this a little bit early. Ordering for the January through April mini catalog starts on January 7th. So you have just a little bit to wait in order to get the stuff that we're sharing with you today. However, there is something that you can order right now, and that is this special release designer paper. I think Mom talked about it a little bit in one of her videos in the last couple weeks, but Stampin' Up! Released some special designer paper for everyone in December, and these are recolored versions of older papers that were really popular. So we've got the Refreshed Beauty, and this one is a 12 by 12 paper. It's got very bright and fun colors. To me, it almost reads a little summery. Flirty Flamingo, Peach Pie, Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green. What is that? Like Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry. This one's really pretty. And then we also have the Serene Love. And this one originally was a black and white designer paper. And now we've got it colored with Night of Navy, Lost Lagoon, and Old Olive, with some really great B-side patterns there. This also is a 12 by 12 designer paper. And the last one is called Shades and Hues. And this is a 6 by 6 designer paper. And so there's 4 different colors featured: Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Fresh Freesia. And each one has almost this like paint chip, ombre, kind of design, and then some paint crackles on the back. And I really love this spring colored refresh of this paper. I think it's going to be really versatile and fun to use. Well, I'm talking about the special release designer paper because next week Mom and I are going to do a stamp along featuring the special release designer paper. Of course, if you don't have this paper, you can use whatever you have at home to cut your cardstock pieces and stamp along with us. And so we invite you next week on Sunday, December 29th, to stamp along with us during our regular Sunday stamping episode. So here are the card measurements that you can cut and have ready for my card. We're going to have a 5.5 by 8.5 card base, and then we're really going to utilize some designer paper. So you can either choose 3 coordinating pieces, or you can introduce some coordinating cardstock instead of designer paper. There are 3 pieces: 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, 2.5 by 2.5, and 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Then you can cut a piece that is about 1 by 2 3/4 for your greeting, or customize that to whatever matches the size greeting you want to use. And then some stamped images or die cut focal images that you can layer onto those designer pieces. I just love doing these stamp along with all of you, and I love to see the cards that you create. So I hope that you will join us next week on Sunday, December 29th for our stamp along video. But right now it's time to head over to Mom's channel to see what she has created with the Floral Delight Suite. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's video. If you enjoyed the project ideas that I shared, make sure to give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and Mom's so you don't miss out on future Sunday stamping videos. Thank you for joining me this week, Mom.
Yeah, and I'll see y'all in a little bit.
All right. Have a great week. Bye, everybody, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.